What would you do if you were left alone in the Arctic for 2 years? In the icy wilderness of the Arctic, a place where the sun hides for months and the blistering cold can freeze the marrow in your bones, imagine a young woman, Ada Blackjack, alone, but determined to survive. Ada was an Inuit woman born in 1898 in Solomon, Alaska. She was of petite stature, but her spirit was as vast as the Arctic tundra. A seamstress by trade, a mother by heart, she never imagined that she would become a symbol of endurance and resilience in the face of unyielding adversity. The year was 1921 when Ada was recruited as a seamstress for a daring Arctic expedition. She was promised a handsome salary and a return home within a year. Little did she know, she was embarking on a voyage that would test the limits of her courage and tenacity. The expedition, fraught with misfortune from the start, soon found itself stranded in the Arctic wilderness. The crew members, one by one, succumbed to the harshness of the environment, leaving Ada, the unassuming seamstress, alone in the unforgiving cold. Imagine those first few days for Ada. She was unprepared for such circumstances, having no survival training to speak of. The Arctic was a relentless adversary. Its winds whipped around her, its cold gnawed at her, and its vastness threatened to swallow her whole. Food, that basic necessity we often take for granted, became a daily challenge. The Arctic was a barren desert of ice and snow, offering little in terms of sustenance. But Ada, driven by an indomitable will to survive, learned to hunt and trap, turning the Arctic's sparse offerings into a means of survival. Ada Blackjack was a woman of diminutive stature, caught in the jaws of the Arctic wilderness, yet she refused to be crushed. She faced the unfathomable cold, the gnawing hunger, and the crushing loneliness with a spirit that burned brighter than the northern lights. Ada Blackjack was alone, but she was far from helpless. How does one survive in the Arctic with little to no preparation? This question may seem daunting, but it was the brutal reality faced by the resilient Ada Blackjack. Imagine being thrust into the icy wilderness, exposed to the elements, with the stark realization that survival hinges solely on your ability to adapt. This is the exact scenario that Ada Blackjack found herself in, untrained and unprepared. She had to muster the willpower to learn and adapt to survive in the harsh Arctic conditions. First and foremost, Ada needed to secure food to survive, not a simple task when you're in the middle of a barren, frozen tundra, but Ada was not one to be easily deterred. She taught herself to set traps and hunt, using the limited resources at her disposal. She tracked polar bears and Arctic foxes, proving herself to be a formidable huntress. Her resourcefulness was truly remarkable, turning the Arctic's sparse wildlife into a lifeline. But hunting was only half the battle. The Arctic is not kind to those without shelter. The relentless cold, the biting wind, the perpetual threat of snowstorms, all these elements could easily spell doom for the inexperienced. But again, Ada rose to the challenge. She learned to build a shelter using snow and ice, materials readily available in her icy surroundings. She created a haven, a fortress against the chilling winds and freezing temperatures. Surviving in the Arctic was a constant battle, but Ada's determination never wavered. She was relentless in her pursuit of survival, pushing through every hardship, every setback with an unwavering resolve. Her determination was matched only by her ingenuity, turning the Arctic wilderness from a death sentence into a test of her resourcefulness. In the face of adversity, Ada Blackjack's resilience shone through. She was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, an embodiment of survival against all odds. Her story is a powerful reminder that even in the most dire of circumstances, with determination and resourcefulness, one can overcome. Ever wondered what it feels like to be truly alone? Imagine the deafening silence of the Arctic, broken only by the howl of the biting wind. Ada Blackjack found herself in this desolate wilderness with no company but her own thoughts. Stranded with no one to count on, she faced not just the harsh elements, but a storm of psychological challenges. The human mind, in its need for social interaction and companionship, can find solitude a bitter pill to swallow. For Ada, the loneliness was an icy specter, as tangible and chilling as the snow beneath her feet. She was caught in a dance with desolation, a dance where the music was the echoing silence of the Arctic. Fear, too, was a constant companion. The fear of the unknown, the fear of never seeing another human face, the fear of the endless, white expanse. And yet, Ada found a way to harness this fear, to use it as fuel to keep the flame of her survival burning. She filled her days with tasks that not only ensured her survival but also kept her mind engaged. Whether it was hunting for food, maintaining her shelter, or simply keeping her fire alive, every task was a step toward survival and a distraction from the gnawing loneliness. Motivation in such circumstances is a scarce commodity, but Ada had a profound source. She was a mother, and the thought of her son waiting for her return was a beacon of hope that pierced the Arctic darkness. This unyielding love for her son was the rope that tethered her to sanity and the wind beneath her wings that kept her pushing forward, day after grueling day. Ada's story is one of remarkable resilience. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the will to survive. She faced her fears, battled loneliness, and found motivation in the face of desolation. And in doing so, she discovered a resilience within herself she never knew existed. Ada Blackjack wasn't just surviving, she was proving that she was stronger than she had ever known. After 2 years of isolation, how do you reintegrate into society? This was the challenge that faced Ada Blackjack upon her rescue from the harsh Arctic wilderness. Ada's return to civilization was met with a whirlwind of emotions. The joy of survival was quickly overshadowed by the daunting task of reacclimating to the society she had left behind. She was no longer the same woman who had been abandoned on the icy shores of Wrangel Island 2 years prior. She was a survivor hardened by the unforgiving Arctic and forever marked by her solitude. The world Ada returned to was also vastly different. Her story of survival had spread far and wide, and she found herself thrust into the spotlight. The media descended upon her, hungry for the tale of the fragile woman who had outlasted the Arctic. The fame was overwhelming and unwelcome. Ada had been a seamstress, a mother, a woman of simple means. Now she was a symbol of human resilience, an icon of survival. But Ada faced this new challenge as she had faced the Arctic, with determination and a will to survive. She navigated the complexities of her newfound fame with the same grit that had kept her alive in the wilderness. She bore the weight of her story with grace, never allowing her experiences to define her, but instead using them to fuel her resilience. Reintegration was not an easy process. Ada had to relearn the rhythms of a world that had continued to spin while she had been frozen in time. She had to face the reality of her survival, the loss of her companions, the trauma of her isolation, the glare of the public eye. But through it all, Ada remained steadfast. She was a survivor, not because she had beaten the odds in the Arctic, but because she refused to let her experiences break her. Ada Blackjack, once an ordinary woman, had become a symbol of strength and survival. What does one take away from such a tale of survival and resilience? This is the question that lingers as we reflect on the extraordinary journey of Ada Blackjack. A young woman, unprepared and ill-equipped, abandoned in the harsh wilderness of the Arctic. Yet she found the will to survive. 2 long years of solitude, battling the elements, and her own desperation. Ada's story is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Her legacy has since permeated into the fabric of modern survival stories and has become a beacon of inspiration. People around the world who face their own battles take solace and strength from Ada's tale. She has showed us that no matter how overwhelming the odds, human willpower can triumph. Her tale is a stark reminder that survival isn't just about physical prowess and skills, but also about mental fortitude and the determination to keep going. It is about the strength to face fear, loneliness, and despair, and still find the courage to keep pushing forward. Ada's story has been remembered in history, not only as a survival tale but also as a narrative of resilience. She has become a symbol of human endurance, a testament to the power of hope and determination. Her story resonates with us because it speaks to our own potential to endure, to survive, and to overcome. Her story has been told and retold, studied and admired. Books have been written, documentaries produced, her name etched in the annals of Arctic exploration. Ada Blackjack has become more than just a survivor, she has become a legend. As we reflect on Ada's legacy, we are reminded of the strength of the human spirit. We are shown that even in the face of the most dire circumstances, even when all hope seems lost, there is a spark within us that refuses to be extinguished. Ada Blackjack's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, proving that even in the most dire circumstances, one can find the will to survive.